In this video and more to come, we'll be using basic tools in the CorelDRAW application to create simple designs such as this. This is the first one, this is the second, this is the third, and this is the fourth. So at the end of this fourth design, I hope that we will have mastered these basic tools to a large extent. Thank you. Let's go. Welcome to CorelDRAW user interface. This is the application environment. Irrespective of the version of this software you are using, this is the main layout where you have the menu bar, you have the property bar, you have the color palette here, and the toolbox by the left here. Then underneath you also have your status bar and your document information. So we are just going to dive into creating simple designs with the basic tools. In case you are opening this software for the first time, you might see some extra dockers like int and so on, but you can close all those ones because these are the main things that we need. So to create a new document, I can either click the new document here or come here to click new, or Ctrl N is also a shortcut. But either way, new document will give us this dialog box where it will ask for the property of the document you want to create. Let's give it a name. Let's say training. And the size is usually A4, but depending on what you want to do, if you are doing it for a print purpose, as I mean you are designing a signage and your client tells you that it has to be 3 feet by 2 feet, then you know you have to skip this box and come here, change your unit to feet, then input your values 3 by 2. You can also add more number of pages by the time you start working with the document. All these things here, they are editable even when you start working. Or for the sake of the designs we want to do, I'm going to change this size back to A4, and I'll leave this as RGB and click OK. So this is our page layout. These are the tools here by the left which I'll be using to create a few designs just now. So the first one we are trying to do is EY trend. So this is how it goes. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my rectangle tool here, which has a shortcut of F6. Once I click my page and drag to have just a short rectangle like that. To make things more intentional, I can unlock my aspect ratio here, then come here and edit my drawing. Let me say 750 pixels by let's say 185. Yes, and I'll press the enter button. So I've made the dimension of the object more intentional that way, and I can lock this back. Now why is this in pixel? Don't forget, it's because when I click on my page, the property of my document is in pixel. So that's why my unit is in pixel. So if I was using inches, this will not be the former value again. So going back to my pixels, so I have this, my 750 by 185 pixel rectangle. So I can drag this to the center a bit and start working. So I need to duplicate this. So to duplicate, I'm going to use Ctrl D. In case it brings out a dialog box, just click OK. That's just the offset distance. So irrespective of the distance, whatever it's duplicated to, you can bring it back to where you want it to be. So I'm going to duplicate this again. So let me align this from node to node. Why this is possible is because my snap is on. Now I mentioned it under alignment that most tools have their snaps to help you guide your drawing and make your alignment proper. So my snap is object is on. If it's not on, then make it on. Check the box here. You can also click this box too to put on your guideline. But since I'm not using it, I don't need it. I can close this and come back here. So I have my 3 rectangles, but there's actually space between them. So I'm going to bring this down from this node using my pick tool. I'm bringing it down to this point, to the midpoint. Yes, and this also has to move down. But how do I make sure that my hand doesn't sway. For those of us that have shaky hands, it's no problem. Just hold your shift button while you bring it down, then to make sure that it comes down at a perpendicular angle. But how do I also make sure that the space between here is the same as here? Something called align and distribute. I can click multiple objects at the same time by holding my shift key when I click. So I held my shift key to be able to highlight 3 of them, or I can just give it a space here, bring my cursor here, then click and drag to highlight. Once you highlight the 3, you'll find the align and distribute button here, which has a shortcut of Ctrl Shift A, or you can come to the object, align and distribute, then align and distribute. Then the align and distribute docker will pop up by the right here, so you can see different things to do. But what we need here is this, to distribute the space vertically. So once I click it, this object will automatically rearrange, and so it's well sorted this way. And I can bring this to, I can click these two and drag them in a bit. I'm still going to alter them anyway. So I can close this docker if you don't need it. I can click this and duplicate with Ctrl D, and an angle of rotation while clicking this object, the angle of rotation, which is part of the property, I can edit it and change it to 90 degree. And I can bring this down to this point. Let me pick node to node, and I'll zoom out a bit to see the length. So in order to make sure that the length of this is the same as this, like in the design we are trying to achieve, I can click this edge here, click and drag, bring it inside, then I'll make sure it's on this edge. While dragging, I can bring it here to make sure that it aligns with this. Then also this, I can bring it in, but once I shift it to this point and it brings out the edge value, I can drop it. Yes. So this is similar to what we're trying to get, but it's not entirely perfect. So I'm going to do some little things to make sure that this is more composite. So I can use an extra rectangle to draw a square. I actually need a square to guide me. So in order to make it a square, I have to hold Ctrl button. It will automatically draw a square for me. So I need a short square here. So from this node to this edge, I can release it. Then go back to my pick tool. This box can serve as a reference point for me. So when I bring this here, I can shift this to meet it. Then I can bring this here, which is going to be equidistant. So now what is left for me to do is I can delete this, then drag this in to meet this by the edge. Of course, I can give this a color by highlighting everything, then give it a color. Once I click on my object, I can come here and give it any color I want, but I'm using black for now. The corner here shows you the property of your colors. So it has a fill color of black, and it also has an outline of black. So in order to change the color of the fill, I will left click. In order to change color, I will left click on any color, but in order to change outline, I will right click. So right clicking actually gives me different colors for the outline. This is the new color wheel, this first one here, which is X, and I will right click it to remove the outline color. Now in case your palette has just one color line or just two, the way you can bring everything out this way, like what I did, I think this is more convenient for me, just to pick my colors instead of clicking a short arrow here to bring this out. I can click this short arrow here, RGB palette. Once I click it, I can come to customize. Then the maximum palette when docked, this might be 1 before, but you can increase it to 4 or 5 or how many numbers you want, but I'm limiting it to 4 because 4 actually can display all the colors. So once I click that, I can click OK, then all this is going to come out as a stretch. That's by the way. So back to our design. I have this ready. So type the name of the brand now. So come here to text tool, which also has a shortcut key of F8. Come here and type EYTREND, EY trend. Yes, so I have this. and I can come back to my pick tool. So when I click on the page, property bar is going to change to the properties of the page. Once I click the text, the property of the text is going to pop up. Then this part is for the font list. So when I click on this arrow, I'll have the list of my fonts. I have a lot of fonts here. So for this design, I'm going to try, let me try Serif Pro Bold. Yes. So I can drag this to make it bigger at the edge. Mind you, don't drag by the edge, and it's going to disfigure the drawing. So you can drag it to increase the size. But while you increase the size, you can watch the property bar up here, and you see that the font size is also increasing as you drag. Font size is also increasing as you drag. So once I drag this and it's big enough, I can bring it back here. I actually want to make the width of this image as a whole the same as this, so I can highlight this and check. Width here is 696, and I can click it on my text and come here to edit 696, then click enter button. So let me highlight this so I can group the objects together by pressing Ctrl G, or I can come here and click group object. So this now acts as one singular object, so I can click it and drag it anywhere. 4 of them will stick together no matter where I take them. 4 jolly friends. To make sure that these two are aligned, I can align them like this and press C on my keyboard. So I can group this together and make them go anywhere they want to go to. They are now 5 jolly friends. I hope you understood that. If you don't understand, please rewatch this video as many times as possible.